Hey, everybody, it's Liz and Steven with Abyss Paranormal, and we are back tonight with another cryptid show. This one I think is going to link well with our last one, which at that time we talked about of course, I'm still saying it wrong, the Gloucester sea monster, and tonight we're talking about the Loch Ness monster. So, and Steven's eating his dinner.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay. So, Steven, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you found? Well, first of all, actually, before I forget, just before
You
all
always
the other
have me
shows,
say what a cryptid is.
yes.
Okay, a cryptid is basically a creature that they don't have evidence for, but people claim to see it.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So, what did you find about the Loch Ness?
Um, well, I found out that one of the most famous Loch Ness photos, and usually it's called
Hey, Dina.
the surgeon's photograph, and this is the photograph. Remember, Gage was talking about. Do you have an image of that?
Is that one right there?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay.
It's the most famous one. It appeared in a British Daily Mail magazine around April 1934. Around the 1990s, it was considered to be a hoax, and I think somebody admitted that it was actually a submarine with toy parts put on it. So it actually is not real. And there's a lot of stuff like this. There's a lot of stuff like this.
Okay. So, that first photo or that photo that everybody knows, the famous photo. Is that the
That's the
first
one,
known
yeah.
photo?
There's even
That's
larger images of it where it shows it as being smaller. I don't.
okay. Um, I think actually, I think I have that one pulled up as well. On just a second.
The one I saw was on the Nova website. Yeah.
Right there.
Uh-huh.
And it does look a lot smaller. I was looking at that earlier and I'm like, that water looks close up.
Yeah, I would imagine too. But my thing is, if you're trying to prove these creatures are real and then you create hoax like that, you're kind of invalidating your own thing. That's what I think. I think you're a huckster. I don't know.
Right. Well, Dina says she imagines things are worse now with AI. And she said, I think it's just a huge ass eel.
That is one theory. That it is an eel. Another theory is that it might be an otter. Um, another theory is that it could be a whale or a small whale. There's Gage's theory. That's a
Gage's
whale's
theory is
penis.
that it is in fact a whale penis. It's just a whale turned upside down. We did find the recording, by the way, and I debated whether or not to play it, but Ruben never gave it to me to give me the option, so we're not listening to it, unfortunately. But Dina asked, "Do you know if they
Yes,
have sturgeon
that's the
there?"
one I'm talking about. The sturgeon one. That's the one I'm talking about. Um, there's another one, and it was the first photo And let me see if I can find my notes on it. But someone, it looks like the dog is actually in the photo. Yeah. I also looked up a story about a woman. Her name is Aldi. Oh, I'm on wait for you to. There's a story about a woman named Aldi MacMay around May 2nd of 1933. She claimed to see a large beast, which was like a whale or a fish, and her and her husband both saw this. And they reported to somebody, and they reported it to someone named Alex Campbell. And I read an article about her, and I really think that the article kind of persuaded me to think that maybe she did see something. She wasn't making a false claim, and that other people also see things too. But what they're seeing is like humps on it. They're not exactly seeing like the whole creature.
Right. That's kind of what I thought too, because the way that it shows in the water is like several of, humps in the water.
So maybe
Dina
people
said,
are seeing something, or at least they think they see something.
right, right.
Some of the legends connected with the Loch Ness Monster are connected with a saint named Saint Columbia. And he supposedly around 565 was around in that area, and there was supposedly somebody that was attacked by this creature and killed, and he sent somebody else to go across the Loch Ness and to swim around it, and it tried to attack him too, but he actually made the sign of a cross and told it to go away, and it did. So some of it's connected with that.
Oh. So we got a few comments. Dina did say that sturgeons are rather large, but not sure the max recorded. So she leaned more toward the eel theory. And she said, plus eels make quite the wake in the water when they come close to the surface. And then Vicky said,
I thought you were talking about the sturgeon photo. I didn't know you were talking about a sturgeon creature. Okay.
Yeah, no, she's talking about the creature, yes. And then Vicky said, supposedly during mating season, male whales will swim on their backs. So Dina asked, Vicky, are you leaning toward the whale dick?
Yeah.
Vicky, she says, come on. Exposing themselves above the water. She said, and Dina goes, oh, Lord. Now a demonic theory.
A demon? Well, I guess that would fit in with the St. Columbus story.
I think that's what she means, yeah.
But a lot of Christian stories and saint stories have dragons in them. You have the story like Saint Martha puts holy water on a dragon and tames it, and then the people are so freaked out by it they end up killing it anyways. And there's stories like that in a lot of saint stories.
Gotcha. Okay. So, in your theory, then, you're just from what you've already found. I mean, is that all you found already? Is that everything?
Pretty much. There's also one thing I looked up where this guy. Let me see if I can. I don't think I have it in my notes.
Okay.
Did you talk about that when you were saying the earliest one? The one that's really blurry and looks like a dog?
Yeah, I talked about that one.
Oh, okay.
The one with the dog's face on it. Um, but there's one story about a man named George Spicer, and he saw it around 1933, around July 22. Him and his wife saw it while they were driving, and they saw it across the road. And there's also people claiming that this is influenced by the movie King Kong and a dinosaur in that movie and stuff like that.
Okay. Dina wants to confirm, is it 1934 was the first recorded sighting?
It's one of them, yes.
Okay. Okay. Looks like they're talking about combining theories of demonic whale penises and possession.
That sounds crazy. That sounds crazy that there being a plesiosaurus in the water, which is another theory. There's been people do like sonar stuff and try to find it. They couldn't find anything. There's also been claims where people see things. I think like on. Oh, my battery's running low.
Oh no.
I don't remember what map it is or what video, but they claim that they saw something in it, and then later on, come to find out, it's not actually really accurate. I don't remember if I read that on Wikipedia or in the Legend of Loch Ness, which is by Nova, which is by PBS, really.
Well, and here's the thing. So I remember seeing in this article that, okay, so of course this is in metric measurements, so, I'm an American. I don't understand it. But anyways, it did say though, the size of Loch Ness, it's massive from what I'm gathering. So I guess it's a good chance that, maybe somebody saw something, but it's never not really been seen before because it's so deep. They said that it has a volume of 7 billion cubic meters, and a depth of 227 meters. And it says it accounts for more than all the fresh water in all of the lakes of England and Wales.
And supposedly it's very muddy, right?
Yep.
You can't see very well in it.
Yep. Dina says, well, alligators and crocs are dinosaurs.
Well, whatever we evolved from survived.
Exactly.
I don't know. I believe that. I don't know what other people believe in.
It's a type of small mammal pig.
Ruben said the type of small mammal pig.
They came from some kind of mammal that survived. That was originally dinosaur food.
Yep.
And then they became birds.
Yep. Dina says, yes, the loch is very roomy, so it could be a whale throwing its dick to the wind. I think everybody liked that theory.
It could be a stick.
It could be a
log
stick.
People see. Yes, it could be a lick. It could be a slug that people see in the water, and then they thought, "Oh, it's a monster."
Oh yeah, look at that monster
but most
over
likely, there. Liz disappeared.
Sorry, hold on a second. I don't even know why that happened. Hello, I'm back. Oh, and Dina did say it's Elohim evolving. So my thing is, right, I think that it is a possibility that it is real. I have seen American footage here in America of, excuse me, large serpent-like creatures in the lakes, the fresh water, um, swimming across the top when it got icy, and nobody can really identify what it is, you know. Um, so Vicky says, I don't remember all the story, but one time I remember someone talking about the long neck dinosaur adapted to underwater life.
There is a dinosaur that has a long neck and it has flippers, and it's usually called a Plagiosaurus.
Do you think that's possible that maybe something like that
I
survived
think
and
I think that if they would have, I think they would have found evidence for it, and I think there would be multiple ones. There wouldn't be just one or two, but I don't know.
gotcha. Do you think um Dina says I don't quite understand how evolution I don't quite understand evolution per se, but who knows? Um so I mean from what you've gathered though, I mean all evidence kind of points to it was all a hoax from what
Some of
I'm
it, some
gathering.
of it is definitely hoax. People making hoaxes and passing it off as real, which seems to be a common theme in a lot of stuff I've been reading about. The
Right.
mermaids, Bigfoot. I mean, there might be uh, ape-like creatures, but you have people creating these hoaxes, and it would definitely would make it to where it's harder to believe in these things
Right.
or to take
Dina,
it
there was
seriously. Is there a
huh?
fish that adapts to be able to live on land?
There
Uh,
there was a
Not
fish that
large fish.
adapted to live on land, and supposedly that was part of our evolutionary cycle.
Hmm.
And even to this day, we can still witness fish that are growing feet underwater.
Some people,
Evolution,
I've heard some people claim that whales themselves evolved from creatures that had feet.
really.
Hmm.
That's an interesting theory. Usually it's the other way around. So, and the thing is when we talk about evolution, we have to identify that evolution is not always necessarily the theory of mankind and how it became to be. So, evolution is happening every day right in front of our faces. Like, for instance, the fish that currently we can see with our own eyes that has feet.
And that
Then you would look
that
at the
fish that got on land would be the ancestor of all animals, not just us.
correct,
It would be the ancestor of all animals, lizards, and all that.
right. And then we also need to look at the apes that are currently in the wild. They have evolved to domesticate wolves as pets. They have created their own tools. They have created fire. I mean, it's very obvious that evolution is still very much a real thing and it's happening every day. You know, it's the situation of whether you choose to believe it or not is kind of relevant to most people because it is true. It's just the theory of mankind's evolution that everybody gets so torn up on. You
But
know,
even like in the Catholic Church, they pretty much accept it because it's a fact. There's no way to even deny it. They're just debating about when did these first humans have a soul, which I think
right?
is kind of a stupid argument because how do you know animals don't have a soul?
Exactly, exactly. Vicky said it's just like ghost hunters faking things that make us look bad and demeans our field.
Yes.
Dina now says, "Oh God, I'm hearing a song from South Park. The elephant and a pig's DNA just don't match." I don't know if I know which song that one was.
I don't remember
Ruby?
that one.
Yeah,
But
it's pretty funny.
I'm also thinking that maybe, like, if you look at a lake, you might see darker parts and you think that maybe there's something there, but it's just the water. I don't know. It seems like when a lot of people see the Loch Ness, they're not up close and personal to it. They're looking from on high at it. So,
Yes,
like
exactly.
the Maggie story, she's looking on high from a high place looking at it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, Dina, religion did kind of ruin the whole idea of evolution for sure. Oh, Dina's giving me exact stuff. She says South Park season 1.
I'm gonna have to watch that. I actually have that season.
I love South
South
Park.
Park's the shit.
South Park hates everybody, and it's so good.
Equally. It's like hates everybody.
But so anyway, so I mean, there are many ideas of what Loch Ness could be, but from the original, from the famous photo that everybody knows, and looking at its original state, not cut out and zoomed in, it really does look like it's a toy sitting in the water. It's very small watered area. You know what I mean? It doesn't look massive at all. I'm going to show it again for everybody. Dina says, I used to fish and staring at my bob for hours with light ripples in the water. Yeah, your eyes can get funky. Exactly.
Yep.
I am going to share that image again for everybody to look at it now with that idea. Oh, I keep doing that. With the idea that it is a toy sitting in the water, and tell me what you all think now. Okay. So look at the ripples in the water and tell me that does not look like it's close up. You know, it looks like it's a very zoomed in small section of water. You see no crests. You know, you don't see large ripples. The ripples are very small around the item in the water. It just looks tiny.
Uh-huh.
And all the ones that we've seen has been very zoomed in and looks a lot blurrier and that sort of thing. And so it makes it look bigger than what it was, you know. Dina said that's a bobber.
It looks like
really,
it looks like driftwood.
yes, it looks like it'd just be anything small just sitting in that water right there. It doesn't look like anything but everything. So the ripples are huge compared to its size. Yeah, like it goes out way further, which indicates that it has to be a very tiny thing in that water. Physics says that spread way out, but the waves around, like the little around it or whatever, we look like we're just right up on the water going, you know. Vicky said the head looks like a peacock head.
I think apparently it was made out of wood putty.
Really?
Uh-huh.
So do we have somebody who found evidence of it being fake then? How do you know it was wood putty? Wood putty.
I looked that up on Wikipedia. But I even read on the Nova one that it was a hoax.
Okay. Dina said the peacocks have evolved except for that one. All right, so let's go back to the Nova website real quick and let's see what that says, okay?
It has like a whole bunch of stuff about it. It's called The Legend of Loch Ness. Are you on that one, Liz?
Yeah. He said, but there is evidence to support the existence of 3-meter-long beasties that looked a bit like the Loch Ness monster. These reptiles are known as, I can't say that, Plesiosaurus.
Yeah, that's
And
the
they
one
were
I was talking about.
And that's the one you're talking about that has the fins and stuff? Is that what you're talking about?
Uh-huh.
Okay. And they were wiped out in the mass extinction at the end of the Cretaceous period. Discoveries of the dinosaur, I can't say it again, fossils suggest that they may have lived in fresh water. The fossils included bones and teeth from 3-meter-long adults and an arm bone from a 1.5-meter-long baby. However, it is unlikely that the Loch Ness monster is a plesiosaurus. plesiosaur. Ugh. Unfortunately, the truth comes down to biology. There might be enough food and enough space in the loch, but what there is not enough of is other living Loch Ness like monsters to make a viable population of animals to support Nessie's
See, that's what I
existence.
said. Yep.
Well, maybe she's asexual.
I mean, is it possible that the dinosaurs didn't need to breed to reproduce?
But you think there'd be skeletal remains found and stuff like that.
I don't know. I mean, mice can reproduce without having sex. Dina said wood putty would dissolve sitting in water. I mean, if you're just going for a quick shot, though, you know.
Maybe
Dina,
they
hey,
use
who
it
you say hey at? Huh?
right, Ruben.
Oh, right. What did Ruben say?
That they
They're asexual.
don't need to have sex.
Oh, yeah, the asexual. Yeah,
But we have nothing to go on to make that conclusion either.
especially if it's dinosaur in nature, because they've shown that dinosaurs are not mammals. They're they hatch from eggs. So
However, if it's a giant worm-looking thing, worms are asexual and reproduce by splitting.
true. Do you hear that? I forgot about that. Worms, they reproduce by splitting themselves. They're asexual. Dina says, isn't there a shark or some fish that reproduces with needing a mate? Isn't there a shark or some fish that reproduces with needing a mate?
Probably something like that.
Oh, without needing a mate, maybe?
Let me look it up.
Okay.
But even if that was the case, you don't have anything to go on to make these arguments, though. I don't think.
No, and we're just theorizing is all right
Yeah.
now. So,
But you can
Dina,
make
hoaxers
anything.
and clout
If it's a
chasers.
theory, you can make anything work out.
Yeah, of course. But that's kind of the fun of the show, is just
Yeah.
to just explore ideas and thoughts about it.
You could believe it's a ghost. You could believe it's an interdimensional being. Because it's a belief. It's not a fact.
Right.
Shark
Okay, so
reproduces itself.
yeah.
Without mate. Maybe I can like shark immaculate conception or there is a shark that has rare virgin birth in U.S. Zoo.
Oh. Was it a shark?
It's called a Eospulate shark.
Hmm. Is that the only known one, though?
They say it's a rare incidence. A shark at Brookfield Zoo gave birth through asexual reproduction.
Okay, so, and it says here,
This is the
yeah,
second time it happened.
it says there's been 2 documented cases of asexual reproduction in sharks. So I guess it's possible they evolved, maybe? Hey, Joe. If there's such a rare occasion, maybe it's an evolutionary thing.
Maybe they got smaller, but the creatures people are talking about as Loch Ness Monster is large. But I don't know.
Right. Right. And if the Loch Ness monster, if it exists, were more worm-like than dinosaur-like, Ruben's theory on, splitting itself would continue its lifespan. You know what I mean? It would create a baby that, when it dies off, there's somebody there and something like that. So,
Hence how gays. No, you straight people had us.
she's not straight.
Oh, well, then we came from the straight people. But you want to get mad. But you want to get mad about that.
Yeah, it's the straight people. So, she says we're evolving.
We're the evolution.
She said the gay people are evolving.
Yeah.
Yep. So, okay, well, I guess we don't really have much on the Loch Ness monster except that it probably really is just a hoax.
It's possible it could be true, but it's possible people are seeing something they can't explain. But there definitely is
Right.
people creating hoaxes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that picture, in my opinion, the original picture of it, though, not zoomed in and cropped out, it says to
Learning
me
a
that
lot,
that is
yeah.
real.
Learning a
Huh.
lot about this stuff for me has been kind of disappointing because
Oh, yeah. Jesse said, not in his lifetime about having children.
Jesse, I thank God 2 men can't make a baby.
But, yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, that picture really lends a lot of discredibility to the idea that she exists or whatever it is, exists.
They,
Because, I mean, that picture really it screamed a lot about the truth, you know.
I
So,
mean, for me, it was very interesting to learn where the name Bigfoot came from. It came from a hoax in California.
mhm.
Now, could there be ape-like creatures? Yes, but
Right.
that name comes from a hoax. That was disappointing for me to learn.
Gotcha. Dina. Interdimensional cryptid fish? I get inter and multi mixed up, she says. Everything that's a cryptid to her is interdimensional. She's like, maybe this multiverse, interdimensional, whichever.
I've had to look it up myself. I don't remember what interdimensional and multi-dimension is like. There's multiple dimensions, and you could have made this choice, or you did make this choice in this dimension, but now you've made a choice in this dimension, so that's what's taken physical form, or
And
something like that. Yeah.
interdimensional, I believe, is when you can go through the dimensions.
Oh, okay. But if you would have made some other choice, then that would be what's physical for you. I can't even wrap my mind around that. There's multiple
It's
U's.
some deep shit.
Yeah,
It's some deep shit.
There's actually multiple U's, and for some reason,
Cue the physicist.
this is what's real, or you think it's real. I don't know.
Poor Steven is losing his damn mind. He's like, the more I researched, the more I hate it all.
They're actually all real.
Okay, so Ruben
I think-
being
What was Ruben's plan?
yeah, so I'm gonna say Vicky, yeah, go ahead. Every time I think Bigfoot, I think Harry and the Hendersons.
Yes.
Oh, I love that movie. I love that movie, actually, Vicky. It's a good
Never
movie.
heard of it.
It's a really good
Never
movie,
heard of
Liz. You should watch it.
Is it old? Is it sci-fi-ish?
It's like
70s.
It is. It's about
Then
a
no.
Bigfoot they find and they bring it home. It's an 80s movie.
I'm good.
It was on Tubi. I watched it.
Oh,
on-
okay. I'm still good. But Ruben,
Now we need to look.
Oh, so what Ruben said was that, in fact, all cryptids are actually real because if we're thinking about multiverse or multidimensional, that's why they are real.
Well, then
They
everything
have
we
to
think would
exist
be real.
somewhere. Everything,
Everything we think would be
exists
real.
somewhere. So, oh, Onyx, I like your shirt.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ooh.
But anyway, all right. Well, I guess if that's it, everybody's saying it's a good movie. It's funny.
It's a really good movie. Oh, there is a
I have-
Loch Ness Monster movie. I forgot what it's called. But it's about a boy that finds one. It's like a baby.
Oh wait, I seen that. And he brings it home, puts it in a tub.
Yep.
What was that movie, Ruben? You know what that is.
I
It was
forgot
from
the
your
name of it.
time.
I can't remember. I remember it, but I can't remember what the name of it was.
I like making fun of Ruben his old age. I'm like, it's from your time.
Yeah, given that you're only 4 years younger than me, I find
Yeah.
that.
I thought it was a 90s movie. I'd have to look it up.
It might be.
Baby.
If that's the case, then I guess it's from my time.
Baby. Nessie movie. The Water Horse.
That's it.
Water horse.
That's it. Okay. Well, does anybody have any other opinions or questions? We're only 37 minutes in, so. Okay, nothing's popped up yet, so. I guess then we'll just go ahead and go, and then I guess next time, what do you want to do?
What do you want to do next, guys?
What do you want to do?
Let's do fairies.
Okay.
Shape of Water. And there's some huckster things about fairies too, by the way.
Okay. Nope. I want to know it all, Steven. I want it all. Okay. All right, guys.
Then
You guys all
next Thursday.
not
Well,
yeah,
not
not
next Thursday.
coming next Thursday. 2 weeks. So, all right,
Just
guys. I guess we'll
Water
talk to you
Horse.
guys later. All right. Bye.